This is DJ Richie Skye, and we are here at DCTV. And I'm sitting here with two of my, well, actually, I've wanted to have these two people on my show for a long time. So I think it's really fitting that they're going to be here on my first episode. Miss Kim Anderson.
Hello.
Makeup artist, photographer.
Boom.
Contributor,
Boom.
style expert.
I mean.
Recent transplant to DC from all the way from New York.
Boom.
Did I get it all?
Originally from Richmond, Virginia, because let's not make the 804 mad. I mean, honestly, because they'll be mad. Like,
will they be mad?
I mean, they'll try to be like, they're so touchy.
Petty.
It's like you saying that you're not from Virginia.
Why are you telling people that?
I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh, really?
If we gonna be into it together.
And we also have sitting beside her, Mr. Andrew Novell, Mr. New York Fashion Week, Mr. DC Fashion Week, Philly Fashion Week, Swerve Magazine. What else am I missing?
BET
Rip the Runway.
And BET Experience in LA.
See?
And British Virgin Islands Fashion Week.
And you thought you needed to rehearse today.
I know, right?
Listen, so here's the thing. Andrew really doesn't do a lot of interviews. I'm not sure why.
Andrew.
Why is that?
Well, I'm just not, an interview type of person. I'm
Blah,
very shy.
blah,
I'm very
blah,
behind the scenes
blah.
and all that. But
We don't do shy around here, do we?
Do
We
shy.
don't do shy
I
around
mean, I'm
here.
a little shy too, Andrew.
Okay, Ricky brought me out. He brought me out.
So listen, today we're going to talk a little bit about spring, summer, fashion, style, because we have two style experts here. Yes. I'm going to say style experts here because
say what
you're a
gotta.
designer and you are
I'm all things.
all things
Through Christ
style,
who
fashion,
strengthens me.
style and fashion. So I want to talk to you a little bit first,
Okay.
Andrew. So how did you get your start with designing fashion?
Well, I went to the High School of Art and Design in New York City. I majored in fashion illustration. And
Okay.
after that, I went to the Fashion Institute of Technology, where I received my menswear degree in menswear design, actually. Went to the Navy for a little bit. Wasn't happy with that, got out. And Navy's a great place, but I left and I
No
started.
shade to the Navy.
Exactly. I
No
love
shade
the
to the
Navy, 100%. And I just started working on my menswear collection. And since 2007, I've been doing I've produced a biannual collection, spring, summer, fall, winter, for press buyers and also, my personal clients. So it's been good so far. The reception's been great to it. So still working, pushing, excited about it.
What inspired you to get started with that?
Just taking men in another direction. When I got started in it, the menswear industry wasn't quite what it is right now. Men's clothing was boring. It was very conservative, especially here in DC. And I just thought I can infuse a little bit of excitement into it, a little bit of sexiness, make it modern, and pretty much just really change, the way men see themselves and the way others see them, pretty much, with my design aesthetic.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about your most recent experience at Fashion Week? What was that like for you? Being to New York, the place where, because I know that Kim has a thing for New York,
Yes.
It's my favorite place in the universe.
Well, I was fortunate to be one of the designers at BET Bet on Fashion. It was a fashion event that was scheduled that happened like on the eve of New York Fashion Week, where they had designers of color show their collection. I also participated in another event, which was Harlem's Fashion Row last February. But New York City, September, doing that Fashion Week with these others, it was just a great, great experience working with industry models, meeting people in the industry. I think it's Emil Wilkopin. I do not have trouble with his name, but he was the one-time editor of Vibe magazine. Getting to meet him and different people, in the industry, and just getting their reaction and response to what I was doing. I mean, it was just powerful.
Okay.
And taking on a couple of.
How did you first get involved with that?
Actually, I was referred to the people there, and they saw my work. That's how I got started with BET Rip the Runway. They seen my work. They liked it. They thought it said something unique and that was different, and they asked me to be part of the production.
Now, to kind of switch gears, because I mean, the same topic, but it's kind of like it's one of those things where if you do what you do and you just kind of put it out there, it almost feels like the universe pulls things to you. For it, like, and I would say the same thing kind of happened to you, right? With photography, and
Yeah.
is that kind of how that
It's kind of how it
came
happened.
about?
I mean,
Because
as
you
far-
started off with makeup.
I started off with makeup. I mean, when I was in high school, and somewhat in college, I went to the magnet program at my high school. Okay, even though it was Richmond Public Schools, I was in the magnet program, right? And
Listen, there is nothing wrong with Richmond.
No, not at all. No, but I'm just saying that we were in the magnet program.
Right.
We were like the first people that were in the magnet program, and my major, so to speak, like if you had like a focus.
Yeah.
And it was photography, and I was under the tutelage of Gretchen Graves, and like years later she found me on Facebook, and like she hollers at me all the time, and she likes my work, you know. I just kind of picked the camera back up, and my eye was still there, I guess. But as far as makeup goes, makeup and photography kind of go hand in hand.
Right.
It all takes a great, I guess, artistic eye, but I started at Mac. That's where I got like way off my feet.
Was
the
that
very first
in-
makeup company I worked for was Stila, and both of those were in New York.
Okay, I was about to ask that.
Absolutely. All it takes is for one person, especially if you're in New York, and wouldn't you agree? All it takes is for one person to ever give you a chance.
Right.
One person, and then from that one person, you automatically feel the confidence to keep going and
Right.
going and going after what it is that you want. So. Yeah.
Do you think that being in New York kind of influenced, your creative eye?
Absolutely. I mean, I'd like to feel like I always had a creative flair, but it kind of rounds it out for you. It brings it influences your eye, it influences your fashion as well, because we all want to think like in the 90s, like we were super uber fashionable, right? Even in the early 2000s, right? We thought that we were, but then once you move there and there's an energy and there's a movement and you see what your friends are doing and you see what other folks are doing, and you kind of just come into your own. Okay. Really. So it does influence you.
So let's kind of keep talking about that with you, Andrew. Like,
Yes.
where does your creativity come from in terms of each new line that you come out with? Like, where do you get that inspiration from?
I get the inspiration from the street. I look at the way men are dressing, and I take, the way that they're dressing, and I mix it in with my own, aesthetic, which is rooted in streetwear, urban wear, and that's where a lot of designers are looking to now. They're looking to the streets for their inspiration. Of course, they marry it with, their own. I mean, it's a reinterpretation for me of what I see in the streets. That's where I get the bulk of my inspiration.
Okay.
And I tailor it. It's extremely tailored to my line also.
Now, I've noticed over the course of, just because I follow you kind of on Facebook and social media, you typically use the same models. Is there a reason for that, or is there a specific Andrew Novell model out there? Because, somebody watching the show might want to be a model. Because listen, we see models all the time, on the Instagram and the Facebook and social media. So I just want to let the people know, if there is a specific type, what is it?
Well, I don't go for the normal, the slim, super polished, guy. I like my model muse is someone who's regularly handsome, guy that goes to the gym, just a well-kept, a man, and that pretty much serves as my inspiration too. So of course I try and find models that reflect that. Okay. And that's pretty much, what represents my brand online and in fashion shows and things like that. I like that edginess, that, that street urban edginess that a lot of designers like Ricardo Tisci from Givenchy, are starting to use, as well as others. Public School, Hood by Air, they're all using these models that have a certain style, personality, pretty much, and that's that carries, just the aesthetics of the brand and also the clothing design.
Nice.
Yes.
And Kim, you've worked a lot with designers and models.
Designers and models.
Only because
yeah.
I've studied your Facebook and your Instagram and
Right.
your social media,
No
you know,
way.
with Fashion Week. So what's that experience been like for you?
Fashion Week is a wonderful experience. It will definitely, it'll definitely teach you how to multitask.
Really? How so?
Definitely. I mean, you will have a look. And the models will come in. Now, in a perfect world, the models are going to come in with a bare face, but it's Fashion Week. So if you have a model come in with an already beat down smoky eye and you need to change that to yellow, and she has to have finger waves or braids in her hair, and she comes in like 10 minutes before she's supposed to walk, then you need to multitask. Like you're on your knees with brushes in your mouth, and you know, while the hairstylist is doing hair. It's very contents under pressure. I mean, I bartend too, so it's the same thing, except for your tools are different, for real.
Well, let's talk about the bartending thing, because I know that, you know, I've seen you in action.
Action.
And you keep it popping. So how did you get involved with that?
I mean, I've been in the restaurant. I was in the restaurant industry since I was like 19 years old. So I did that in Richmond. I did a little bit in New York. And then when I came here to DC, I just decided that I didn't want to be retail makeup anymore.
Right.
And so I was just like, listen, let me tell you something. Bartending is like, it's like stripping, except for, no, it is. It's quick cash, honey. Like it's stripping, but you're serving people drinks. And it's like, and on the other hand, it's like being a makeup artist where you're talking to them. You're their, you know, I don't want to say psychologist, but you're their therapist, and you're talking to them, and while you're making them a drink. It's just, it's a lot of fun. It's just pressure. I think I just work well under that. If you put me behind a desk at a government job, I don't know. I'd last probably 24 hours.
Have either of you ever worked any other job than what you're doing now?
Yes.
Oh, I'm like the Forrest Gump. I work. I'm sorry.
No. I want to know.
You
I'm
go
a
first.
Persian Gulf veteran. You know, I
Right,
served
right,
during
military.
the exactly on a Navy ship, an aircraft carrier, and also I worked in a prison. You know, for a little bit. Yeah, Baltimore prison. I did human resource for. I know, right? Correctional facility. I've been all over. I've done, you know, a lot of things. So, but yeah, that's what I've done.
What about you? Anything that we would be surprised to know?
So wait, I used to be a toll collector on the RMA. You know the RMA, what does it stand for? I don't even know what it stands for. Richmond Metropolitan Authority, is that
yeah,
it?
that's
Maybe
Is that what it
I don't-
stands
I
for?
don't know.
I don't know, but I worked there.
Okay.
And I took the tolls.
How were you with that?
I
Like, I'm struggling to imagine you actually collecting change from
I mean, it was fine. It was okay. Okay, so I'm not telling you, but it was cool. It was fine. It was fine. Yeah, it was fine. I mean, like back then, if you were gonna make like $9 an hour, it was like, okay, let me just get this coin real quick. But you had to wear that thing, that smock, and you had to take money. I mean, it was just money handling. I did not care. I could not have cared any less than I did. So I didn't last very long. Ooh. But she had a car note.
Well, listen, speaking of getting coins, we're about to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more from Kim and Andrew.
Are you ready?
Big dreams and good grades aren't enough to get into college. There are actual steps you need to take. Finding someone who can help is the first and most important. For the next steps, go to knowhowtogo.org.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
In 2012, there were 88 homicides in the District of Columbia.
In 2013, 104, including a dozen killed at the Navy Yard.
By mid-June in 2013, just over 30 people had been killed.
In the first half of 2014, roughly 50 homicides were recorded.
This is nearly double last year's rate.
The lives of residents hang in the balance when crime in our community increases.
People across the district are at a higher and higher risk
of becoming victims.
Stop the violence.
And we are back. I'm sitting here with Kim Anderson and Andrew Novell. So listen, Andrew,
Yes.
back to you.
Okay.
You have an underwear line.
Yes, yes.
Tell us about that. How did you get started with this soul?
Well, it used to be a T-shirt line, an urban line, and that whole thing just kind of phased out.
Why?
Because fashion changed. You know, they
Okay.
moved, they were, at that time during the 2000, they were moving away from this whole large silhouette to something more fitted. And I had hundreds of thousands of T-shirts that were these full silhouettes that I couldn't
Right.
sell to the manufacturers. So, you know, but the name was still there, and I said, well, you know what? There's such a lack of diversity in the men's underwear market.
Right.
Maybe I can do something about this. So that's when I created Dot Soul. And, you know, we use men of color prominently in our advertising and marketing of the product.
Right.
So, you know, and that's how it came about. And it's doing pretty well. I mean, we ship to people overseas. We have customers overseas that
Nice.
follow us in Australia and places like that. And they're getting, you know, the idea, you know, so hopefully, you know, it'll kind of open doors for, you know, models of color.
You know, I like a
in
good
that
pair of
industry.
underwear because,
Yes.
you know, some of these underwear out here just don't last anytime. You know what I hate?
Do tell us.
I hate, like, I feel like boxers are the devil for men.
Well, I would imagine that would be horrible. I mean, I could not imagine wearing a pair of, you mean boxers, not boxer briefs?
No, boxer briefs are everything to me.
Okay, because
but
I feel like boxers
boxers
were right up in
are like,
parts that they should not be in.
no. What's your feeling about boxers?
Constant wedges.
I have a thing about this whole conversation. I feel like dudes shouldn't wear boxers.
It's something that grandpa should wear. You know, I feel like if you're going to wear a pair of underwear, it should be supportive. It should be
Yes.
quality fabric. It should allow you to breathe and everything else. Those cotton boxes, the creases and everything, leave lines in your leg and all that other stuff. I hate it, you know, so.
Ooh, I'm not dating guys
like,
who wear boxers
it's just-
anymore. It's going to be a new question.
It's horrible, you know.
So
and,
how do you feel about tighty whities?
well, you
Or
know,
blackies or pinkies?
it depends on the occasion. You know, I
Tidy
think
whities are
there's-
weird.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
just
know,
think that's
Willis,
a weird
what
thing.
you talking about?
Well, I mean,
Like
listen,
that.
okay, so this is just random conversation, but
Yes.
what do you like to see your men in?
Ooh, I love boxer briefs.
Yes, yes.
Boxer briefs are good.
It's sexy.
Boxer briefs are good.
I
As
like
long
it.
as you
Let me
don't
see
say-
yours.
Oh, they're black.
Show me, I don't believe it.
I can't show you on
I just
camera.
want to see what you got to say.
So listen.
Yes.
So you've been doing that for about 3 years now, right?
Yes, yeah. Well, actually, this year will be the 5th collection for, you know, the Dot Soul underwear.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice, nice.
yes,
That's
yes.
quite a while though.
Well, yeah, you know, it is. It's progressed. It's evolved. You know, I'm, you know, just starting to get more involved in the design, fabric selection, and it represents, you know, pretty much, you know, just my whole design ideals on what men's underwear, you know, should look like, what it should resemble. Our urban sportiness, it's about function, it's about fashion, guys looking sexy, and we use great fabrics, and it's manufactured in a great facility, you know, in South America. So it really is an A1 product. I put a lot of
Nice.
heart and soul into it.
Nice.
Each pair, yes.
Nice. So have you ever thought about doing women's wear?
I've thought about it a lot. I've had many people ask me about it. Michaela, she's a style correspondent on CNN, is always on me about, you need to do, you know, women's wear. And basically, it's just trying to transfer that aesthetic from my menswear, you know, line
Right.
over to women's wear. How do I make it work for women's wear so that it doesn't look like two different brands, you know?
Right.
And that's the issue, and that's the problem that many designers struggle with, just especially menswear designers, trying to bring that, aesthetic over into women's wear. It's something I'm working on.
Right.
And, maybe within the next couple of years, you'll see an Andrew Novell women's wear.
I think you should definitely hop on that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think there's always a good market
the women
for that.
that
Women are always looking for.
You need to do this.
Right.
Yeah. And I would
Great
love to do
lines.
it too. I'm just trying to figure out, the design and all that. Because I was trained in menswear design. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, Kim,
Yes.
I'm going to put you in the hot seat for a
What
second.
you mean the hot seat? Hold on.
Hot seat. Are you ready?
I mean, maybe, because I might just choose not to answer. Go.
You can't do that.
I mean,
not
yes,
fun.
I can.
So listen, my question to you is, given that you kind of have spent a lot of time in New York, and now you've been spending a lot more time in DC. Mm-hmm. I feel like you kind of...
I know what this question
I'm
is.
glad you do. So I feel like I want to know what you think about DC style versus New York style. Can you give us your assessment?
Sure. DC style, see, I'm just tongue-tied already.
I told you I was going to put you in the hot
God, you're
seat.
lying.
I want you to be blatantly honest.
So DC style, I mean, I when I first moved here, I felt that it was lacking. And when I wanted to originally move back to New York, I was like, hurry up and get me out of here before it gets on me and can't get off. That's
Are you
how I
serious?
felt. But I felt like a lot of people, there are people that I knew, such as you and my friend Damon and my cute little Reggie, that had great style. There's even more people who don't. And I feel like it's very conservative here. And
I would agree
it's
with
very
that.
easy spirit. It's very dress barn.
Wait,
it's
did you say
very
easy spirit?
I did. Naturalizer, dress barn. Let me wear my, my coordinates, my Caslon from Nordstrom. That whole, like, let me get a cardigan, a cute cardigan and a tank top. And I get it because, it's like, well, no, I don't. But
it's conservative, though.
government. It's supposed to be conservative, but conservative doesn't mean that you have to, not do style. I don't believe that for 1 second. There's a lot of dress barns around, and there's a lot of rainbows around. And I see rainbow and dress barn walking down the street every single day.
All right,
and
so
I mean rainbow off the mannequin, like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and just take all of that.
Really quickly, before we wrap up,
No.
what is the one thing, what is the one trend you think needs to,
Oh, dear God.
actually, no, a better question. What is the one thing women need this summer
Style.
beyond that? What
I
trend?
liked the first question that you were going to ask me
No.
what trend I felt like needed to die. And
Okay, what
I
is
just
it? What is
feel
it?
like it's the Muppet lash, the let me go. No, really. It is. You can get you can comb out your lashes and get a great lash with mascara. However, and I'm not like saying don't use faux lashes. It's the constant, putting on of the faux lashes with weave glue. Like, that needs to go away. And
Andrew.
that's just the truth.
Yes.
What is the one trend that needs to stop this summer?
The one trend that needs to stop this summer,
For men,
it's
come on.
something that, for men, the one thing I can think about is these pants hanging off
Oh,
the
come
people,
on.
these men behind, excuse me. Sorry. That's the one thing that really needs to go away. It's immature. It's offensive to see when you're walking down the street. And some of these people are as old as, 40, 45 years old. They're walking with these pants, hanging off and showing
Holding
everything.
your baby.
Exactly.
Your baby got on a diaper and it looks like you wearing one too. That's awesome.
So, yeah, I don't know if you would consider that a trend, but that's the one thing. I think the one misstep in quote unquote fashion, or the way men are dressing, some men, that really needs to be abolished and
Lots
go
of
away.
men here in DC. Lots of them.
Yes,
Lots.
it's horrible. It's a crime.
Well, you guys have heard it here first, directly from style maven Kim Anderson
They're cussing us out.
I know, right?
and
I
designer
don't care.
Andrew
They're
Novell.
gonna buy us a bus ticket.
And we're fine with it, but we ride the
I
contract.
am
Thank
Richie
you
Skye,
so much.
and we are wrapping this up. Thank you guys for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
love you both.
I love you too. We had a great time. Wonderful.
Are you going to show me your boxes?
I'm not showing you my boxes.
Yes, you are.
Hi, I'm DJ Richie Skye, and I am sitting here with two of my.
The camera with the red light on? Look into that one, okay?
He told you. No.
Why the little red light?
You know what though? I actually appreciate Tony's directness. I don't like black and white
Tony.
stuff.
I like Tony. Tony's
You gotta
like
tell
with
me
the
what to do.
red light.
See the one with the red light on? You see the light?
I see it.
Okay. Are you gonna hold that thing the whole time?
What? I mean, maybe yeah.
Okay, I'm just asking.
I don't know. I gotta change some things, Tony, because
feeling
we
self-conscious.
had a little flip, so I gotta, I'm
We can't
readjusting
drink.
for a second.
Do you need a minute?
Nope.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Banging on this track, DJ run it back. Bass stack like that. If you thirsty, call it trap. We jamming in these streets, and we got the block beat. We run this town, baby, with the Gucci on our feet.
Turn it up a little bit louder. I wanna feel the bass when the beat drop. I'm feeling kinda nice now. Go